Most people don't really know how to play Emma Frost. Because of that, she has a bad rep, like she's weak or just not worth picking. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Emma Frost is one of the most momentum shifting characters in the entire game. When played right, she can control the pace, dictate fights, and completely turn the tide. She's also one of the only tanks in the game that has a combo that can instantly kill characters up to 300 HP. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the mindset and key decisions you need to make to unlock her full potential. If you want to stop dying early and start dominating, this is what you need to understand. I'm going to be talking about good things that I did in this game, but also some of the mistakes I made and things I could have improved on. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was, with Emma, you need to always make sure to try to get your charge up to 100. So right now it's at 22, I'm going to hit anything I can to get it to 100. Now, a lot of people, especially in lower ranks, think that that's obvious and you should be hitting anything regardless, and that's actually really wrong. I talk about this a little bit more in my DPS video, but just to give you an idea, you shouldn't be prioritizing anything blindly. It goes anyone out of position first, then supports, then DPS, then tanks. Now that's, again, the general way your target priority should go, and that doesn't just go for DPS, that goes for everyone. But in this case, when I'm playing Emma, I want to get my charge to 100 in any way I can. Now obviously, if there's a Loki on the left and an Emma on the right, I'm gonna go for the Loki because he just has lower health and he just has a higher probability of dying quicker. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but I wanted to highlight the fact that I go diamond form after the fight's already over. And while yes, I'm burning the cooldown, notice how it's keeping my charge at 100. When you're in diamond form, it keeps your charge at 100. Or rather, it just freezes it at where it's at. So if you're at 70 and you go into diamond form, it'll keep it at 70 until you're out of diamond form. I also wanted to highlight the fact that here, periodically I try to shoot low key in order to keep my charge at 100. Now, I did make sure to communicate to my teammate to not kill the low key so I can continue to use him as charge, but unfortunately that didn't work. So now that I'm at 100 charge, I can play the game properly and start focusing people that I need to accordingly. Now here I have my ult and I noticed they invis ulted. I tried to use mine to hopefully suck someone out of the ult, but looking back, I noticed that that doesn't really work too often, and I probably should have saved my ult for a better case. At the end of the day, we still won the fight, but it's always good to critique what you could have done better for your next games. Now again, now that the fight's over, I'm going to try my best to keep my charge up. I'm looking around, trying to see a Loki clone. I push up even a little bit and perfect. She throws a shield up. I can use that to keep my charge up. A lot of people don't know this, but you can use anything. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be shields. It could be, I'm pretty sure Penny's nest works. Anything at all, as long as you shoot it, you can keep your charge up. Now there, I obviously lost my charge, which sucks, but it is what it is. Now their cloak ults here and we got picked, so I'm just going to back up and try to play my life as much as I can. Fortunately, our Meg does kill the cloak, but Emma's still ulting, and as long as we just play out of our LOS, we're fine. And Penny ults too, and now, again, I'm just trying to get my charge up. I don't care who I prioritize, just trying to get it to 100. Or at least as high as I can get it for when they push a little bit more. Thankfully, our BP does get 2 big picks, so we're fine. I also wanted to say a lot of people use Emma's shield kind of like how you would use Strange's shield. And while I understand the thought process behind that, that's not how you should be using Emma's shield. Emma's shield doesn't have as much HP as Strange's does. So use hers a little bit more conservatively. What I mean by that is use it to block LOS from the enemy's supports to their frontline, or use it to block an important ult that's coming in, whether it's Iron Man's, Hela's, or even some ground ults that you can block at least a little bit. Now obviously there's not always going to be an ult for you to block, so I really want to highlight my first point there. Try to use your shield to block the support heals from the frontline. This not only makes it easier for you to kill them, but also your frontline often, especially in lower ranks, doesn't really have the awareness to know that you've done it. Now, as you get higher in the ranks, it doesn't really work too well, but it still should be in your practice. Cutting LOS for even a couple seconds could be a big difference maker in a fight. Now, we got a couple of picks, so I'm just going to play aggressive and try to clean up as much as I can, especially since I'm Emma. Now, again, look, every time there's dead space, I'm trying to look for a clone to keep my charge up. I can't find a clone, I go into diamond form, so my charge stays at 100. Now they TP here, but I'm not too worried because first of all, I have 100 charge, but second, we did get a pick on their support. So they're already coming here short-handed. That plus my ult and our support ult just gave them no chance to win the fight. Now before this next round starts, I wanted to give a tip that even most Celestials don't know. But first, I wanted to ask for some feedback. I'm still new to making videos and I know that I could be doing a lot better, but I just want your help to do that. If you have any suggestions or anything you think I can do better or include to make the quality of the videos better, please let me know and I'll try my best to incorporate them in my next video. Also, if there's a specific role or a specific character or even a specific topic like game sense or aim you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. I've been playing competitive games my whole life and I could talk about this stuff for hours. So if there's something you want me to cover specifically, I'll get on that right away. Anyways, the tip I was talking about that I feel like no one really knows about and people in Celestials don't even know this, is that the effectiveness of Emma's E all depends on the enemy's health. I'll try to show a visual to explain this better, but if the enemy has a lot of health and you use your E, the E or the crystal is going to have a lot of health as well. It's a quarter of their current health, but it does a quarter damage of their max health. So if you use this on a Groot that has max HP, which is 850 health, the crystal's health is then going to be 212.5. However, if you do the same ability while Groot is at 400 HP, the crystal's health will be 100 HP while still dealing 212 damage. So knowing this, you can probably understand why it's better to save your E until they're at least at half or maybe a little bit more, less than half health until you use the crystal to actually optimize your damage. Now, I will say there is an exception to this rule. First of all, when they're squishies, you don't have to worry about it that much because every squishy is at 200 health anyway, so 50 health isn't that bad. But obviously, if you have a high charge or if they're lower health, it's gonna be way better because you're gonna deal more damage at a quicker rate. Now, while yes, I did just say that we should wait till they're lower HP to be able to use this ability effectively, there is one exception to this rule, and that's being at 100 charge. When you're at 100 charge, it doesn't matter what the enemy's HP is because your damage is so strong that you're gonna melt them instantly anyway, especially if you're doing it to a squishy. I also wanted to point out here how I used the diamond not to do damage, but actually to get away. Since I noticed that we are down one and I was low on health, we needed to back up, and the quickest way for me to do that is through her diamond form and pressing E so I can dash away. These small things make a big difference and I believe it's the reason why I didn't die here. But at the same time, notice how even though we were down 3 people, I'm not backing out completely. The way I see it, there's 2 ways this can go down. Either I go up a little bit more and die for it, and which is alright because 3 of us got picked anyway so we could group up, or I get a pick and we snowball from it. I saw Meg got res, so I knew we could have committed to this properly, so I popped my ult, and as a result, we win the game. Now, one last thing I wanted to highlight about this game was the fact that I use natural cover so much. I didn't talk about it too much in this video because I have a video dedicated to it, but if you take a look back at this game and look at the clips, you'll see how I use natural cover, and a lot of the time it's the reason why I had 0 deaths this game. Anyways, I don't want to waste your time anymore, so see ya.